Hello, welcome back to Talking Dead UK. Another video for you, but this one, a little bit of fun. We're going to play about with the World Cup squad. So World Cup, just around the corner. Gareth Southgate's going to announce his England squad in about 4 or 5 days' time. So I thought we'd have a little bit of fun and I would pick my England squad for what it's worth. So I'm using the trusty Football Manager 2023 beta version to go through this, just because it was the easiest way I could figure to create the squad list. So I think what we'll try and do is we'll get rid of the players that are injured. Now I know that might be tricky because some of them are hoping to be fit still from time for the World Cup, but I mean England, we've been through this before, haven't we? Where we've put players in a squad that aren't fully fit in the hopes that they might catch up after the first couple of games or so, and they're never really fully fit. They don't catch up, they're not in form, they're just off the pace. And do we want to do that again, or do we want to take somebody who is fit, who's been playing, who's fresh, who can actually give something to the squad other than just a backseat sort of bench warmer, motivational talker in the dressing room? Right. So the three goalkeepers, I think, sort of pick themselves really. We've got Pickford, Pope and Ramsdale. They're all playing, they're all in decent form. Certainly Pope and Ramsdale, so we'll keep them in. Touchy subject, Harry Maguire. Do you take him, do you not? I think given the options we've got, he probably deserves a place. Whether he starts or not is up for discussion. So we've got Maguire and Stones. They're in the squad. Tamori, I think has got a good shout of being in there. And then you've got Ben White, who can double up as centre back plus a right back or wing back. So potentially he gets a spot. And then Eric Dyer. What do you do with Eric Dyer? I mean, we can't really go off his stats in the game really, because we're looking at real life. I suppose he has been playing, so he's got an opportunity. He could be coming. Walker. I'm going to take him out for now because he's not fit. I know I read earlier that there's a potential that he could be fit in time for the World Cup, but you know, we'll see. Reece James isn't going to be fit, so he can come out. Chilwell isn't going to be fit, so he can come out. And I suppose the other one is going to be Phillips, isn't it? Calvin Phillips, will he be fit? They're saying that potentially he could be fit in time for the World Cup. He's only got sort of 2 weeks, 2 and a bit weeks, so I'm going to take Phillips out for now. So Dyer's place is up for discussion. Declan Rice obviously gets a place. Luke Shaw, I think, because we're limited at left back and he's actually been playing recently, so he's got a place. Henderson, I think, is up for discussion. Ward-Prowse possibly up for discussion. Bellingham plays and is in the squad, obviously. Sterling, Mount, Foden, I don't think there's any arguments with them. Kane, Rashford, I don't think there's any arguments with Rashford particularly at the minute because he's been playing and he's been in quite good form. He can play off the left or he could play as a backup striker. So Calvert-Lewin I'm going to take out because he's not fit and he hasn't played that much. So you can see where I'm going with my selection really. It's who's fit and who's been playing, not who might be fit in time for the week before the World Cup starts, so we could take them anyway. Right, okay. So I'm going to jump over in game to the national pool and I'm going to add a few players that potentially could be in the squad or not, and then we will discuss, and I will take some out. Connor Cody is always one that's in and around a squad and up for discussion. He's been playing at Everton, hasn't he? So let's add him for now. I think it's a discussion between him and Eric Dyer, to be honest. Right, Trippier's in. He's been in good form, playing well. And he's probably the starting right back, isn't he? Trent, it's a discussion, but I'm going to put him in for now. I think given that Walker probably isn't going to be fit, I would take Trent, and it gives you a couple of options. You know, he might not be the starting right back, but if it's tight in a group game and we need a goal, he could come on and potentially provide the assist for that, or in a knockout game in the last 5-10 minutes, you could be throwing him on as a winger or just an attacking wing back, and he gives you them options. Okay, who did we have at left back? We've got Luke Shaw. Sessegnon. He's been playing, but he's not in form, is he? Particularly, he's not. I don't think he's up to it, to be honest. Luke Thomas at Leicester, not 100% how much game time he's had. What other options have we got? We haven't got many, have we? I think potentially for the England squad this time around, because Chilwell and James are out, you take Luke Shaw and he starts, and then potentially you have Trippier as a backup who can play at left back, and then you've got Alexander-Arnold who can come in at right back, or you've got Ben White who can cover at right back. And I think kind of that's where we're at. I suppose potentially you've got Saka who could play as a left wing back, maybe. So into the midfield, Jordan Henderson, would you take him? I suppose he's playing regularly. They're not in the best of form, Liverpool, are they? But I mean, he is a leader. He's experienced. We'll leave him for now. With the absence of Phillips, Ward-Prowse, I think you take him. I don't know if he starts or even gets a game, but I mean, he could cover it defensive mid, couldn't he? He could play alongside Rice quite easily, I imagine, and he's good for a free kick. Jude Bellingham is in. Okay, Conor Gallagher. I think we'll add him for now. Jack Grealish. We'll stick him in. And then the next talking point really is going to be strikers. Oh, and James Maddison. And I think potentially for Maddison, it's going to be a case of if he gets into that squad, is it at the expense of one of the midfielders? Is it at the expense of a Henderson or a Ward-Prowse? Or does he get in because we're light at left back and we potentially take 3 right backs and hope that one of them can cover left back, and that leaves us an extra place? I'm not sure, but I'm going to add him in for now. Sancho, I don't think we can take because he's not really playing. Foden's already in. Oh, Saka, why isn't he in? Right, strikers, let's discuss. We've got Harry Kane, goes without saying. We've got Rashford, who can double up there. Danny Welbeck, been in some quite good form, but I don't think he makes the England squad. Callum Wilson, he's injured in game, but at the moment he's fit and playing. But then, do you risk him as a sort of injury-prone player? You could take him. He could have 45 minutes, 10 minutes of the first game, get injured, and then we're without him for the rest of the competition. Would you take Ivan Toney? He's not played for England. He's been in a couple of squads and then friendlies recently, but it's a bit of a risk, isn't it? We don't know what he's like, how he plays in that squad. So, and then the other one I would say is, where is he? Tammy Abraham. I think he has been playing. Has been in okay form. He's a bit on and off. We've seen him before. I think potentially he makes a squad. Let's have a look. Put him in. And then I think I would go Wilson over Toney. And that depends if we can fit Abraham in at the same time. So let's have a look at this squad here, what we've got. Right, let's have a look. Keepers, Pickford, Pope, Ramsdale, already sorted. Your centre-backs, Maguire, Stones, Tomori, and then you've got Cody in there as a backup. You've got White, who can cover at right back as well. And then you've got Eric Dyer, who's been playing and is in form, and also I suppose he gives us cover at that's defensive mid positions. You've got Trippier as a starting right back. You've got Trent Alexander-Arnold as the backup. Luke Shaw left back. And I think, given our options at the moment, I know it's risky, but I would be tempted to just go with Luke Shaw, and then you've got the option of Trippier playing on the left, potentially. I know it's risky, and Southgate won't do that, I would imagine, and then that gives us extra positions then for midfielders and attackers. So then you've got Rice, Henderson, Ward-Prowse, Bellingham, Gallagher, Sterling, Grealish, Maddison, Mount, Foden, Saka, Kane, Rashford, Abraham. So did I put Toney in? I didn't put Toney in. So I think that wasn't intentional, but I think that makes up the squad, doesn't it? Would you go Kane, Rashford, and Abraham as the strikers? I think possibly, given that. Oh no, it was Wilson, wasn't it? I didn't pick Toney, I picked Wilson, but he's not there. Would you take Tammy Abraham or Callum Wilson? On the basis of form, who's playing well currently? So yeah, I'll take Wilson over Abraham just because he's in form. Newcastle are playing really well at the moment, and I think he's that goal-scoring threat that offers a little bit of something different. Kane is a bit of an all-rounder, scores the goals, he gets involved in the link-up play, he can act as that target man. You've got Rashford, who's just pure pace and going to play in behind. He can press, but then if you're really struggling for a goal, like I say, similar to Trent really, last 10-15 minutes of a game, 1-0 down or 1-1 and it's a knockout game, I think Wilson could offer us something different, whereas Abraham, I'm not sure he gives us that goal scoring threat, he gives us other things. And with Calvert-Lewin injured, I just don't think you should be taking players that aren't fit, that haven't been playing or that aren't in form necessarily. Quickly do the starters. Let's just say, for the I'll quickly run through the starting lineup for me. I go Pope, he's in good form. Stones is in. Potentially go Tomori next to Stones. We've got Trippier who's starting. We've got Shaw who's starting. We've got Rice obviously starting. And then Bellingham starts. Kane starts. So if you're Southgate, obviously Sterling starts. Do you go with Mount, Foden, or Maddison in behind Kane? I think potentially at the moment I'd go Foden. And then I know I've talked about Rashford as that backup striker offering something different with pace, but at the moment on current form, I would put him in off the left wing. And that obviously means that Saka doesn't get a place and Grealish doesn't start. So, you know, Saka could come in for Rashford, I suppose, but I think depends how we want to set up. If we want to go for it and score some goals, I think Rashford. But Rashford can alternate with Saka. And then you've got Mount and Maddison that could come in behind Kane or into the midfield. And then you've got also obviously midfielders, Gallagher, Ward, Prowse, Henderson, even Eric Dyer. Ben White can play on the right for Trippier. So yeah, that's probably what I'd start with. Probably in that formation as well. If you would be interested in me having a little playthrough of this, I don't usually do this on the actual Talking Dad channel anymore, but if you would be interested in me having a little playthrough of this, let me know in the comments. And we could potentially have a little World Cup playthrough, just as a bit of fun, something different. If my laptop will actually keep up with it, we'll see. Let me know what you're thinking about that 26-man squad. Let me know in the comments what changes you would make. And hopefully we have a positive World Cup experience and we do well. We'll see about that one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Cheers.